What is up, guys? It is Sam the Raid Man. Welcome back to another Raid Shadow Legends video. Today we've got a bit of a different video for you guys, and I want to talk about what I think could be the most successful feature that Raid or Plarium ever adds to the game. We've seen a lot of successful features like what we're currently on with the Doom Tower. This is widely regarded as the best feature they've ever added. We've also seen 2 new clan bosses with the Hydra and the Chimera. Hydra being pretty well reviewed. We have the Cursed City. We also have Siege. We have Tag Arena, we have Live Arena. There are so many different features that have been added to the game. We have hard faction wars, hard dungeons, and I think this would probably be more popular than all of those. That being said, I think it's a stretch because we'd have to get Plarium to sign on, but let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I think this is a fantastic idea. This is your chance to get a free Karato Fox Hunter by clicking the link in the description now. You will get Karato as well as 3 amazing epics, Fane, Ugo, and Vergis. I have 4 simple steps for you to redeem this code. Step 1, log out of Plarium Play on your PC and uninstall it. Step 2, click on the link in the description of this video and register with a brand new email address. Step 3, launch Raid and complete the tutorial. Final step, go to your inbox and collect your champions. This is your chance to get a great head start in Raid, so make sure you click on this link. So this idea spawned on one of my streams recently. We were talking with some of the people on Twitch, and it was kind of started as comparing Raid to some other games and talking particularly about the empowerment of champions and then also the token trader and how you get these champions. It's a very strange system. But basically, what we were talking about was another game where that has a functionality where you can earn and work towards specific champions, and it takes a long time. The game is Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes that I'm specifically referencing, and they're called Galactic Legends, but basically someone would like start an account and then they're going to work for a Galactic Legend for 9 months. And you have certain other champions you need to get. There's certain milestones, you have to get certain levels of gear. And it's not a one-to-one comparison of what I would expect to see in Raid, but the point is every day when you're playing that game, it feels like you're working towards something and you're getting closer to something. And a lot of times that doesn't always feel the way in Raid. And I think the closest we get to that is the missions, right? So on my free-to-play account, I'm working through the Arbiter missions and I'm somewhere in the middle between the Sacreds and the Legendary books. And it feels like I'm slowly working towards that. I've always got something to do, or typically always got something to do, and I'm working towards Arbiter. And I love that they've added Ramontu. I love that they added Marius. I think Marius is one of the best champions they've added to the game. He is so amazing for everybody, and I'm super glad that they've added this. But I think they could take that a step further. I know a lot of people in the past have asked for champion trading, and the idea of that is very, very fun on paper, right? So if I look at champions that I have extras of, right, I have, let's see, an extra Wixwell. That's a great example. So many people would kill for a Wixwell, and I don't really need another one. Like a +1 in him doesn't make a ton of difference. Building a second one isn't really necessary. Like my account doesn't change very much by having that second one, but someone else's account would change a ton if they had their first one. But then there are some like non-void legendary champions that I would really, really like. I'm trying to think of one off the top of my head. Like a Valkyrie, right? A lot of people don't need Valkyrie, but I don't have her, and I think she'd be fun and unique. So I would trade my Wixwell for a Valkyrie, and I feel like that's a fair trade. And I think that trade on paper, probably Plarium wouldn't have too much of an issue with, but I think the bigger issue would be things like, okay, I start a new account, I pull a Void Shard, I pull Krisk. I'm going to trade that to my main account for an uncommon champion or a rare champion. And then you're just boosting your own account. Also, you get into the danger of people starting a ton of new accounts, pulling a ton of shards, and then selling champions, basically. So I can see why Plarium doesn't initiate a trade system. So my thought would be, or my overall feeling is, how do we get to a point where you feel like you're earning or getting closer to a champion that you want? So, you know, Valkyrie is like an okay champion that I kind of want, but a champion that I really, really want is Tribune Heraclides. And I've spent a lot of money trying to get him, bought a lot of shards, and I've never been able to get him. And I really, really, really want this champion. I think he's super fun. I love the Undead Hordes, and I love his kit design and his aesthetics. I really, really want this champion. So the idea that I'm proposing would be basically some sort of system that would allow me to start working towards this champion. And I think some kind of fusion system could work, right? So like, let's say, I think whatever we choose has to be a time limited feature. So my suggestion would be like once every 3 months. Right now it's October, it's almost the end of October, but let's say January rolls around, they add this feature in for 2027 or 2026, excuse me. I can choose a champion of a certain pool or of a certain rarity. I'm gonna choose Tribune Heraclides. Then it's gonna give me 4 legendary champions I need to fuse into him, and then 4 epics that I can fuse into those legendaries, and I can try and get those champions and earn those champions. Perhaps they run them through events. I think that's option 1, but I think that's more unlikely than my option 2, which would be another set of missions. And I'm going to fully flesh out my idea But basically my idea would be that you can choose almost any champion in the game, and then the level and rarity of that champion that you choose determines how many missions and how difficult it is to get. So for example, the Arbiter missions are very easy in comparison to the Marius missions. The Marius missions, you have to be like every area in the game. You have to be doing Hydra, you have to be doing faction wars, you have to be doing hard dungeons, you have to be getting mythical gear. It's very, very difficult, and it's harder than the Ramantu missions. And it kind of makes sense because Ramantu is better than Arbiter and Marius is better than Ramantu. But my thoughts would be, let's say you're a newer account, you've already got your Arbiter, but you really, really needed to Mytha because you're trying to progress in Clan Boss. I think if you wanted to Mytha, then that's easier to get than Ramantu or Marius, right? Because they're both Void Legendaries. So I think we can hypothetically have a path or a missions set for an epic champion, right? That would be the lowest. Let's say you want a Seeker, right? You want a Seeker, maybe that's 50 missions or 76 missions, right? This is all spitballing, but just hypothetically, like the idea of the framework of what I want the system to look like. Then you want a Void Epic like a Demitha, maybe that's the full 76, right? So a little bit more than the regular Epic. Let's say you want a non-Void Legendary, so Valkyrie, Tribune Heraclides, maybe that's 2, right? So that's 2 of these sets, so 150-ish missions. That feels pretty fair to get one of those champions. Maybe a little bit higher if player wants to, but that'd be my suggestion. And then a Void Legendary, I think, would be all 3 or all 4. So it was 3 for these and 3 for these. So I feel like that's been the path. That's been the previous pattern for Void Legendary. So I think another 380-ish to 225 missions to get a Void Legendary of your choosing once every 3 months. And again, this is not easy to do in 3 months. Marius took a lot of people more than 3 months for sure. I think I probably did it in 3 or 4 months myself. I'm not 100% confident. And then I doubt they'd ever add mythicals, but if they ever did add mythicals to that thing down the line, then maybe that's a full 4, right? So that'd be 260 or 300 missions, depending on how much that takes. The reason for that, the reason I think this would help, obviously players, one of their bigger concerns, or if they're watching you guys' biggest concerns, is probably just the lost money. So for example, if I'm working towards Tribune Heraclides, when a Prism Shard event or whatever pops up for him, I'm not going to buy shards for it, most likely. Now, the best champions you want dupes of. You want multiple Newts, you want multiple Burdoses, you want multiple Tarases, you want multiple Mythicals, but that's not always the case. So hypothetically, the more champions that we get, the more good champions that we get, the less money we as a community will spend, which is a totally fair and valid concern from Plarium's side. But also, if you guys give me Tribune Heraclides, just continuing to use him as an example, in a mission path, I am spending all my money on energy and silver and refreshes, trying to get to him as soon as possible. If I have to pull, 30 Void Epics or whatever at some point, I'm buying Void Shards. Like, I will still spend money to complete that, but it just feels good knowing that as of today, right? I play all day, I play 4 or 5 hours today. By the end of the day, I'm closer to getting that champion that I want than I was before, versus today in this week. I've been playing, every day for a week. I'm not any closer to getting Tribune Heraclides. I guess I'm kind of closer to getting some other champions because I pulled, I got a few Ancients or Voids from Clan Boss. So I'll get somebody at some point, but it could be a dupe, could be a trash champion, and that's fine. I'm not asking for a full overhaul of the system. I'm just saying to add in some kind of system where it feels like every day our account is improving, just getting closer to our goals. Right? It is a collector game, and it is so unbelievably difficult to collect champions. I've been wanting an Acrisia for, 2 years, however long she's been in the game, and who knows if I'll ever get her. There's 4 Void Legendaries in this faction. I have 1, right? There are just so many Void Legendaries in the game. Look at how many Void Legendaries are in this faction. If I want a Tremaria specifically, the odds of me getting a Void Legendary and getting her is so unbelievably low. Obviously, I don't, because she's not very good. The Queen of Hearts I want. There's so many, just like Void Legendaries especially, and Mythicals especially, they're just so unbelievably difficult to get. The faction unity champions are very, very hard to get. I just think Plarium has the potential and the ability to do something that the community would fully rally around. Obviously, there will always be people who complain, they'll say the missions are too hard, they're only for endgame players. Whatever that might look like, there will always be negative feedback. But I am thinking also about what will keep long-term players in the game. I know Plarium cares a lot about new players and bringing them in. I think this will also only help with that. It will help increase the public perception of Raid and Plarium. It will help increase content creators like myself and the bigger content creators, their outlook on the game. And I think the better the community feels about Plarium, the more people will be playing and continuing to play and staying happy. So anyways, let me know what you guys think of this idea in the comments. How would you tweak it? How would you change it? And the more you like this video and watch this video, maybe it can get in front of Plarium's eyes. I would love to see this come across their desk, start a dialogue. Maybe someone hears this and they implement it in a year and a half. I don't know. But I feel like it's a good enough idea that's realistic enough and not super crazy that maybe one day it can happen. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next one.